and look for excesses that need correction. And actually, one of the lessons that we have to learn now is that the regulators have to accept responsibility for preventing asset bubbles from developing, because we have now learned that financial markets are prone to create such bubbles. And if that is the case, then we have to counteract the tendencies in the financial markets. And when the regulators see it developing excesses, they have to go the other way. And that means that they have to regulate credit and reactivate instruments other than monetary instruments, instruments for regulating credit, like margin requirements, minimum capital requirements for banks, and be ready to change them to counteract the mood of the market. Now, in the past, regulators have explicitly rejected that request, saying that if the markets don't know, how can we? And that is right, they can't. So they will always be wrong, and they have to be prepared for that. But they will also get a feedback from the market, which will tell them whether they have done enough or they have done too much. So then they can correct their own mistakes. And that's how regulation is supposed to work.
What is your prognosis for the ongoing economic crisis, and when will it be over?
If I'm right in saying that the world that's going to emerge is not going to be the same as it was before, then it will never be over. But as far as, let's say, growth is concerned, probably next year, world economy will return to a positive territory. In 2009, it's going to be negative. Probably 10 will be already positive, but not very vigorous. So exactly how long it's going to be languishing, I think it cannot be predicted. My theory tells me that financial markets are unpredictable, so I won't actually predict them.
What can a global organization like JCI do now or in the future to avoid a crisis like this?
I don't think that it's up to the JCI. I don't think the JCI as such, but I think the membership can benefit from understanding what's going on, and that's why I'm happy to answer your questions.
What does an ideal world look like, in your opinion?
There is no ideal world. We can have ideals, but we will always fall short. It's the human condition that we are part of a world that we try to understand, and because we are part of it, we really can't gain knowledge. To have knowledge, you need to have an independent criterion by which you can judge whether your understanding is correct or not. In the case of natural phenomena, you do have an independent criterion, and that's why natural science has been able to produce such wonderful results. But when it comes to social affairs, politics, finance, and so on, you don't have an independent criterion, because your understanding, your interpretation of reality is actually part of reality. And therefore, we always act with imperfect understanding. And our imperfect knowledge is actually a causal factor in determining the course of events. And that's why you have a much wider range of uncertainty. You cannot get the kind of knowledge that you can in natural science. And that's where we went wrong with economics, because economics tried to imitate natural science. The idea of equilibrium really came from Newtonian physics, and it simply doesn't apply to the financial markets. So the global financial system has been built on a false interpretation of how financial markets operate.
Will there be a new world order, or will everything stay in its current form? Is open society still the answer for creating a better world?
We are not going to go back where we came from. This crisis is different from previous ones. It's, in a way, the end of an era. But the new order that will emerge will not be radically different from the one we have had before. Exactly what it's going to be like, I'm not able to anticipate. But I think that if you could say that you had, let's say, an international capitalist system, what you're likely to get is a system of national capitalism, where, because of the rise of China, because of the relative role of government again increasing, it's likely to be more nationalistic. So I think we're heading perhaps for something like a system of state capitalism, as opposed to the very globalized multinational corporations. But that's just sort of my current anticipation. It may or may not be true. As far as open society is concerned, I think that the idea remains valid, but it needs to be modified somewhat, because actually Karl Popper and following him, I myself, have misinterpreted how thinking operates. We took it for granted that discussion, thinking is directed at a better understanding of reality because of the success of natural science. But in actual fact, when it comes to politics, that's not aimed at understanding reality, but at manipulating reality so that you gain power. And so, in addition to reaffirming our commitment to freedom of speech, freedom of thought, we also have to reaffirm our commitment to understanding reality as being a very important role of thinking.